TV now in crystal clear HD with FiOS On Demand.
Spend your night with Evening Edition. Weeknights on the Weather Channel. Now, your local on the 8s.
Currently, the temperature is 89 degrees under fair skies. Here's our local Doppler radar. Today, partly cloudy with isolated thunderstorms possible. High 89. Winds southwest at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Chance of rain 30%. For tonight, partly cloudy skies. A stray thunderstorm is possible through the evening. Low 73. Winds south-southwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. On Wednesday, scattered thunderstorms, especially in the afternoon. Humid. High 87. Chance of rain 40%. Our week ahead. Traffic congestion for our area.
We now have a tornado warning in place for northwestern Ohio. In fact, in western Ottawa and Lucas counties, including the Toledo area, as well as Harborview and Oregon in this region, we do have this tornado warning, which is in place until 3:30. So it is a dangerous storm. It is moving off to the east at 38 miles per hour now. Just take a look at that, that line of very dangerous thunderstorms as it makes its way through the Findlay area right now. So do take cover if you are in the Toledo area. And of course, that tornado warning once again is in effect until 3:30. So it's going to be a serious situation as we head into the next 30 to 40 minutes or so in this region. Let's go ahead and take a look at your week ahead and show you what you can expect as we head towards the end of the week and into the weekend. We have some time to look forward to here. So as we take a look at our Wednesday, we're going to see the rain extending throughout parts of the Ohio Valley into the northeast and a more widespread area for isolated thunderstorm development as we head into the afternoon hours as well as we head into our Wednesday. Notice how dry it is out west. That pattern just continues with the heat on throughout much of California and through the Four Corners regions throughout the desert southwest. We're going to see the rain returning in earnest again to parts of the Midwest as we head into our Thursday and another cold front drops in, and that's going to give us a chance for some isolated severe thunderstorms once again. And then across the south, we're going to have widespread heat of the day activity from Florida stretching on up into the mid-Atlantic. So in D.C., you'll want to have that umbrella handy as you leave work on your Thursday. Friday, it's pretty much going to be relegated to the southeast and also throughout the upper Midwest as we head into our Friday. We'll continue with the rain throughout parts of Minnesota and into northern Wisconsin. Also notice we're seeing a little summer thunderstorm, easy for me to say, summer thunderstorm activity across parts of the southwest. They're not calling it the monsoon anymore, but this is definitely a pattern where you get in all that moisture off of the Gulf of the Baja as well as the Gulf of Mexico. And it looks like that pattern is coming entrenched as we head into the weekend. So hot and humid and steamy out throughout the deserts, but at least a bit of rain, which is needed. Throughout the southeast, once again, over this weekend, you're going to have a chance for thunderstorms stretching into the upper Midwest as well as we head into our Saturday. And Sunday, we have a line from the Four Corners region stretching across the Central Plains into the northeast, and once again, Florida and the southeast has that chance for thunderstorms as we head on into our Monday. So there are those temperatures with the heat on out west, and that pattern is going to continue as we head towards the end of the week and into the weekend as well. Betty?
Hurricane Bertha still churning in the Atlantic, way out in those open waters. Let's get you the very latest. It has been weakening, those maximum sustained winds as of the latest update at 105 miles an hour. That makes it a Category 2. Remember, at one point it was a Category 3. It is moving toward the northwest at 10 miles an hour and running into some conditions that are not favorable for strengthening there. So it is weakening as it moves into some pretty strong winds. Well, do you ever wonder why hurricanes do what they do? Why do they behave that way, go this way or that way, or as opposed to the other way? Meteorologist Jim Cantori explains.
And if it develops, we expect it to take a more west-northwest track into the subtropical Atlantic.
When it comes to forecasting the track of a hurricane, there's a lot more involved than you may think. But there are several main factors that come into play. First, where the hurricane forms.
The average wind flow across the tropics, we call the climatology, changes from location to location. In the Atlantic basin, in the tropical Atlantic, the flow is generally from east to west. In the Caribbean and the Gulf of Mexico, the flow tends to be more out of the south.
Where it forms within the tropics also matters. The farther south in latitude a hurricane forms in the tropical Atlantic, the more likely it will impact the United States. But there's also the time of year to consider. The steering flow patterns tend to shift and change at different times during the hurricane season. That's why climatologically, we know that the peak of the season is usually in September. But climatology is only part of the puzzle. There are daily changes in weather patterns that have an impact as well. The final caveat is intensity, and it's also the most difficult to forecast. You can't predict track without intensity, but you can't forecast intensity without knowing where the hurricane's going.
They're not mutually exclusive. In other words, if something is weak, it'll move with a low-level flow, but if it changes intensity and becomes a deep circulation, a strong one, it will move with a combination of the surface and the upper-level flow, and that may be a completely different direction. And so oftentimes we see as they strengthen, they tend to start moving in a different direction.
There's also timing involved. Whether a hurricane or tropical storm will be picked up by a trough and skirted north, or just miss it and continue west. There are no simple calculations.
More like an object that's embedded in flow that has different speeds and different directions throughout the depth of that obstacle that's in that flow. And on top of that, the hurricane itself has motion of its own.
Which is why hurricane forecasting is no easy task. I'm meteorologist Jim Cantori.
Does your pet hate to be groomed because wire bristles make it an agony?